Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
Everything will get started. Is that okay? Okay. All right, welcome to the revitalization program for Toastmasters International, the education. Today, I'm going to walk you through the PowerPoint that the chief ambassadors have been given in the process of learning what our new revitalization program is all about. I gave you a handout. You should all have two handouts, one of them being this one, that will give you just a brief overview of what the revitalization program is for us. And on the back side, though this is going to change, this gives you who your ambassador is for which areas. Okay, now this is going to change. Within the next 3 weeks, you'll get an update on this whole new program. And you'll see on the program, we're going to make a change on the front page because the program actually launches July of 2015. We're not launching,
No, I don't.
It'll launch 2015. July 2015. It's an exciting time in Toastmasters to have a new educational program. The way it's going to launch, though, just because I have a lot of leaders in here, let me give you kind of the rundown of how this is going to launch and what the steps we're taking. It's going to be a gradient approach to communicating the program between now and the end of December. There are 240 learning masters on the planet working with the past president, Pat Johnson. And they're the ones with Toastmasters International putting a program together that will both be online and manual. There will be a blend. There will be a blend of our communication and our leadership track. To what extent that blend is going to take place, you will see it here, but I'll be very anxious to see if you understand it, because Joe and I and my ambassadors, we were all laughing earlier about, it's a little confusing yet. We're going to wait until they get through a lot of this confusion and give it to us in its form. But what's important for us to know are two things. One, the DTMs are not going away, the designations. We don't think, and Joe and I have talked about it, we don't think, based on what we know, that any of the educational designations are going to go away. They may be renamed, but they're not going away. When we do launch this in July of 15, it will be launched with brand new Toastmasters who are joining for the first time. It will not launch with us, though we are going to do a lot of work to make sure any of us that want to know this information will be part of that kind of launch party. I'm going to call it a launch party because I need to make sure everybody understands it who's been a Toastmaster, so we can help mentor people in our clubs that are going to be the brand new members. I can't even imagine. I mean, we brought in, you guys brought in probably a lot more people than we did this year, but we're 17 new members in our club. I can't even imagine getting them launched in a new program when I don't even know it. Or John doesn't know it, or Joe doesn't know it, or Dan doesn't know it. It's like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to start getting as many people as when it's ready to get launched, as many people trained up as possible so we can answer those questions. Okay? So just know that. Now, the Learning Masters are going to do a beta test. And we don't know what clubs are going to be in beta test yet. The beta test will start February of 2015. So that's when the beta, and as soon as I know if any of our clubs are going to be one of the beta test clubs, I'll let all of us know. But right at the moment, we don't know what clubs are going to be chosen to be part of the beta test. The beta test should take 2 months, possibly 3. Then they'll go back to the Learning Masters, they'll go back to the drawing board. They'll figure out what went right, what needs to be changed. Then there may be a second beta test, depending on what they find, because remember, we're in 122 countries. And as Joe pointed out earlier, A lot of those countries are already doing online training because of the distances they have to travel, whether it be in Saudi Arabia or China or Mexico, in order to get to their training. So we, because we're so close, we don't do a lot of online training. Ours get together, meet, but there may be a whole lot more education going into how we use online, what do we do online. There will be online training that we will all be part of. I just don't know what extent yet we're going to have. Now, when you sign up as a new member, you're beginning signing up online. You're going to be taking a survey online. It will, based on your answers to that survey, you will get the information as to how you can go from beginning all the way through Distinguished Toastmaster. Now, for all of us old timers, and I say that just because I'm one of the old timers with 30 plus years in this organization, I don't lose my DTM, number one. And number two, once the program launches on July 15th, I've got 2 years probably to finish up all the manuals I'm working in. All right? So we don't lose anything. It'll just be a gradient approach to getting through this. Now, those of you who have been through the branding changes, you know what happened when we launched prematurely. There was so much confusion out there. That's why this is being slowed down to make sure all the bugs are being worked out of the system worldwide so that it launches consistently across the planet. Okay. All right, so I'm going to walk you through the PowerPoint with what I know, and more importantly, probably what I don't know. And trust me, I wish I could tell you everything. I know all the answers. I don't. I'm learning like we're all learning. We chief ambassadors get together with Toastmasters International about every 4 months, and we will have a webinar with this PowerPoint. Now, this was my latest PowerPoint. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Not my latest, Toastmasters International's latest. There's a little bit different one up on Toastmasters' website. You can go up and just put in revitalization program. You'll see the information we got. And I learned, Cersei told me today, because we've been all asking for it, a frequently asked questions segment. And it's small up there now, but if you have any questions, and after the program, and you hear from your clubs, this just starts getting out more and more. If you've got any questions, send them to me. I'll make sure Toastmasters has got them so we can have some answers on the website. Any questions so far? Putting you all to sleep yet? No. Okay. Now I get to do that. All right. Here's the update that we went through. I found this particular slide very interesting because it's the average year's complete educational award. And I thought, wow, 8.47 years to get my DTM? I mean, I took 11 years, so I felt, wow, I was a little too long on that. But it's taking too long to get our people through the manuals and into the advanced manuals and getting to DTM. That's one of the things that this new program is going to be much more compact, straightforward. If you say you want to come in and you are dedicated to being a better speaker, when you fill out your surveys, that's what you're going to do in order to get to that position. And in the clubs, hopefully all the clubs at that point are going to have Wi-Fi available in their club meetings because I can literally fill out the manual online when I'm your evaluator. And then it uploads to the cloud or to the server, downloads, you then automatically have that as part of your manual. So there's going to be a lot of that working on it. And the key is going to be get our people through the basic manuals. Also, as the mentoring program, we're no longer going to be just needing to have our mentors in our own club. When I launched my company in China, we have a company now in Beijing, no, Shanghai, where the office is. It would have been nice to have a mentor over there in Toastmasters. Well, with this new program, you can have a mentor anywhere in the world. This is just another sample of how then a project is on Vent project. So you'll be having to go through that if you choose that particular track on the leadership side.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the surveys and choosing a certain track, can you change what you've said what you want to do?
Good question. Don't have an answer. I don't know, that came when I was listening to the webinar, when I was participating in the webinar, that's exactly what I asked. I thought, because I change my mind all the time. I get in and I realize, well, I've already got that handle. I want to now do this. I thought, well, could I go back in and do that? Well, when I sent in my little question, they just said, we don't have an answer for that for you yet, and I'll be done with it. So I suspect there are more people asking that question, can we change our minds?
Right.
I'm sorry.
It just not,
Oh, go ahead.
it just thought just came to me, what if you're working on your second DTM? I mean, would you think there'd be like a shorter track to go through?
I don't know. I know that if you're working on your second DTM, they're gonna want you to finish that before you start the new program.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we have 2 years, remember, once it starts in July 2015, we have 2 years to get through all the manuals we've been working on and get our DTMs done. And then we can start the new program when we're ready to start.
So can your projects be actually be completed online?
You can either do it online, or you could do it offline if you have a manual.
Okay.
But some of the projects, like putting on that event, etc., you'll actually have to put the event on,
Oh, I
and you'll
mean,
get coaching and evaluation and feedback.
okay, I mean, not like submitting it online, but actually be done online.
Yeah, well, yes, that's part of it. Some
Oh,
of
it's
it's
part
gonna
of it.
be online. I
Okay.
don't know if they're gonna launch with it that way, though.
Okay.
But I know it's coming. It's coming. It'll be in the, I just don't know if they'll launch with it yet. So
Okay.
yes, it'll be coming.
Roberta, one of the things that immediately comes to my mind when they talk about the length of time for each one of the designations is that they're trying to shorten it.
Yes.
And when they're trying to shorten it, are they watering down what it takes? And I think that's a
Well,
concern.
in fact, you spoke just on behalf of the board of directors. When I was on, when we first looked at this, we went, and we got a very little taste of it. But we all said the same thing. You can shorten it, but we better get the competency level of everybody way up from where it is right now,
Right.
across the planet, not just in any
Yeah.
place. Because that's the last thing we want.
Right.
Is shorten it. And we're not, because our end product are people who come out of our clubs and go out into the real world, and people go, well, wow, how is it that you can communicate so well? Well, Toastmasters. That's the best promotion we can do. And if all of a sudden our people are coming out and they're not being able to communicate or not being able to lead, we're not going to bring people in.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, is there, write down if you want this and just let me know and I'll send this to you. Again, I'm not going to go through this, but this will give you an idea. I really do think this will change, but when you get the PowerPoint from me, take a moment to take a look at this. This might be the way, and I say might be the way, it's going to be the way we're going to be able to be interacting with that. Now, the mentoring, they are formalizing the mentoring. Now, the mentoring program was never a formal program. I'm very happy about this. Because there are mentoring programs all over the planet that are, some are outstanding and some are just, like, what is this word? What is that? Mentoring. We go for a cup of coffee and we talk about other things. This is going to be, this is exciting. And part of the beta test I'm excited about is getting this information on what they're finding out about how they're formalizing the mentoring program. Don't have any more information than what is up there. But again, mentoring doesn't have to stay within the club. It can go across the planet. So if you want to mentor in London or in Saudi Arabia or India or in Virginia, Washington State, and you've got a particular, you are in technology, you'd like to have a mentor in Google, you can request that. Or you're one in Microsoft, you can request that. If you're in banking and you need a mentor in Bank of America, who's a Toastmaster, you can get that. Mexico's very excited about this because of their 200 and some odd clubs, 240 clubs when I was there, they've only got 5 English-speaking clubs. So they're thrilled that they're going to be able to have mentors in the United States that can help them through in learning English and being able to speak better. And with Skype, as you know, we know we're starting with social media, and 1 meeting a month will probably be virtual so that we can get ourselves kind of up to speed on how you do mentoring via Skype. I think that's the technology that'll be chosen by Toastmasters International. If not, we'll have our own program on TI where we can do meetings, like I said, anywhere on the planet and share those meetings. in-person meetings, real-time meetings.
So are you going to qualify to be a mentor now? I mean, it's a
Yes.
standardized program, but I
Yes.
mean, you're gonna need to have your CC or CL or some sort of qualifier that you're a good mentor. You know, if they're,
I say yes, because that's what they've said, is that that's a yes. My question is, how do I qualify? Just because I finished a manual, does that make me qualified to be able to mentor someone to get them through? I don't know. We'll see what comes up. But right at the moment, yes, everybody's got to be qualified. They don't have any answers yet quite for this. Most of us that deal in our world with virtual, we know that what virtual learning is, and if you haven't had an opportunity to do that, either go up with Patricia Fripp and take a look at her virtual online learning program, or go up on Toastmasters International. You can get there's a lot of virtual learning up there. That would be good for you just to kind of get an idea of what the virtual learning is. How it will be used, we don't quite have all the answers. They don't have all the answers on, but why is it important? When they surveyed out there, the millennials coming into the organization across the planet, yeah, I know you, are using online more than they use offline. And they're wanting that, and they're disappointed that we don't have it. And why can't, because in college, they can do a lot of their classwork online, and they can do their coaching online, and they can turn in their assignments online. And they come into Toastmasters and they go, what are you guys, just old? We can't do anything online. What do we, if I bring my iPad into the meeting, why can't I have my manual there? Why can't I? So that's why it's coming online, is because as we get more and more of the millennials into the organization, and they're the largest group outside of the baby boomers, we need to be able to satisfy their needs. And that was one of their first needs that came up when we did that survey of needs and wants out there, is get us so we can be online and be able to use our smart table, our smart tablets, our phones, our smartphones, etc. In fact, there were more of those smartphones in China when I was there the last time than I saw over here. All right, so when preparing for our membership, just so you know, we've got the Learning Masters. There's 240 of them worldwide, working with Pat Johnson. We've got the ambassadors. I'm the chief ambassador for District 52. You've got the handout for all of our ambassadors. That'll start gradually getting out to the clubs, probably more in January than in this first 6 months. In the first 6 months, we'll have handouts of all the area contests, division contests, and then, of course, our board is active. Our region advisor, Joan Lewis, who's out of District 1. She said anytime as she learns more, she'll come over here and help us as well. And she'll definitely help the district officers to get to understanding. The district officers going over to Kuala Lumpur will be trained over there on some portion of this. I know they'll get a training on the new program, so I'll be thrilled when they come back and we can get more understanding from them. Now, the way we operate in this district, which is different than other districts, but in this district, we are running parallel and working as a team to the district officers. So on my team of ambassadors are no area governors or division governors or top 3. They're Toastmasters that don't hold any of those obligations, because we want people like John and all of you who are in here that are working on behalf of the district stay focused on getting through the Distinguished District Plan, the operations of the district. Let us ambassadors or former officers work with you in tandem to get this information out to your clubs. So it'll never be at this. In this district, we talk to each other all the time. Other districts, it's amazing what goes on in other districts. But in our district, we talk to each other. We don't know quite what this means yet. I wish, I never do a presentation when I don't know. This is the hardest presentations I've had to do is with this program, because I don't know what the award titles are going to be. I don't know what the member-specific recognition will be. We know it's coming, and we'll get that out of the beta test, but the DCP and the DRP, why don't I just go blonde? Joe, DRP? District Regional Plan? Now maybe it's the district. Does anybody know what the DMV is? Just went, no.
Distinguished what, distinguished region?
I thought it was the region, but we don't have, well, we have regions.
You would think, though, that if we're going to have a revitalized educational system, we're going to have a revitalized distinguished club program. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
I don't know, it just went long, I can't remember. Beta test, they did change the slide for us, so the beta test will be February. They're gonna debug in April, May, print English manuals, and then start the second database. That's why I don't think this is gonna launch. They told us July 1st, 2015. I just think there's gonna be some interesting bugs that are gonna come out of the second beta test, and this will push it another 2 or 3 months. So again, the phase out, new members, then current members, and then all members. But how that works, I don't know. If we're gonna do it 1 month at a time, or what we're gonna do. All right, and I just wanna make sure. Yes, there'll be a continuing evaluation of the program as we go forward. And there is the commitment to a world-class, this is the why, basically, that came out of the board of directors when I was on the board. A world-class educational program that truly empowers members to become more effective communicators and leaders, to preserve Toastmasters' rich history and culture, and to communicate through the process. So there's going to be a lot of communicate. At any point, any of you have any questions at all, if you don't have my business card, I'll give that to you. So if I can answer your question, but I suspect that your question will be answered better online with Toastmasters International and the revitalized program, because they will update that pretty quickly. And I will probably only be in front of you the next time would be at the fall conference. As if you don't have any questions. I got a lot of questions. Any questions that are absolutely burning?
I have a suggestion or a suspicion, it's not so much a question, a suspicion that preserving the culture of everything being face-to-face, which is part of human beings interacting, is going to tend to be severely challenged by this more and more online. And one of the problems for the millennials is so many of them are so disconnected from reality around them because they're connected to their electronics and
Well,
we're part of the process of
exactly.
back into the world.
Exactly, and one of the things that we've noticed, at least for my company, is that a lot of my millennials that work for me, which I love hiring millennials because I learn a whole lot from them, is that it's very difficult to get them to communicate. They will communicate across the office via text than they will by getting up off of the and going and having a one-on-one communication. And I just went through this the other day with my marketing manager. He needed a question asked, and I said, and he texted Mitch. Now Mitch is maybe, he's just another hallway over. And I said, so what did Mitch say? Well, Mitch said no. I said, well, what does no mean? He goes, well, I'll text it. I'm thinking, no, get up, please. I'm very nice guy. Please go talk to him. And it was the hardest thing for him to get up and actually go across the footprint. I thought, wow, what am I missing here? Because I get up and walk. Like if I need an answer, I call and say, hi, do you have 5 minutes for me? I'm coming over. Oh yeah, come on over. At least then I can follow a thread when somebody says no or yes, or gives me an answer that I can follow up with the next one. And that's just one millennial in my office. The rest of them are texting each other to get, it's like, okay.
It's the board.
But
It's
sorry?
the board from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes.
Resistance.
All right,
You have been very entertaining, telling us absolutely nothing.
Thank you very much. That was my goal.
But Roberta, you did it so well.
I can't tell you how hard it is to talk about something that I have no answers for.
I'd like to get access to the advanced manuals in advance.
Yes. All right, so go ahead. Thank you so much for being in here, and thank you for listening to all my non-answers. If you want the PowerPoint, I'm more than happy to send it.
In other words, you told us everything they told you.
Yeah, hey, I can be a good parent. Yes, Lee. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, beta test means it's the program is gonna be run that is being, it's like an example.
Did
So
everybody
they might
It's a
come
test.
into our
It's
room,
being tested.
they might come to our club, they'll
Surely
probably
not.
choose other clubs.
We did over
And
here.
they'll try out the
Nate, did you sign
program.
it?
and-
Yeah, they just sent one.
I'll do that, thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, I have.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Please take a moment, fill out the evaluation form.